Warning, this video spoils Code Geass in like the first couple of seconds, so if you haven't seen Code Geass, then what the fuck are you doing? You know, the best part about R3 of Code Geass being confirmed is that this is probably the first time in history that fan theories are right. And at the same time, people are almost divided on this topic, on whether or not R3 is a good thing. Which I think were the same amount of people who were debating on whether or not Lelouch was alive or not. I remember the countless people yelling at the others saying, Lelouch is alive and here's why, and the other people were yelling back saying, why can't you just take a good ending? And now, 10 years later, holy shit, probably those same people are being just as annoying and saying, ha, we were right, and the others are yelling at the creator saying, why can't you take a good ending? Personally, you didn't have to convince me of anything. I was already for Team Lelouch back when it started, or ended in this case. Not just because people were saying that Lelouch became immortal because he contained code that was given him by Charles when he grabbed him just before he shot himself, which activated his code that made him immortal until he was killed by Lelouch, because if you're immortal, you can only be killed by someone with 2 Geasses, just like the nun was killed by CC. And the proof is that Lelouch told Suzaku not to interfere when Charles grabbed him, and now Lelouch has code which was activated at the end when she was killed by Suzaku, and the proof is that when Lily touched him, she saw flashbacks from Lelouch's perspective, and you can only see flashbacks when someone touches you if you have the code, just like CC in the show. That was all believable to me, and can be seen as truthful, but in my eyes, the thing that sold me was the original TV ending, which many people have called fake, which, to be fair, I can kind of see where they're coming from. The watermark does disappear right when they cut to Lelouch, but it also disappears here, so it could just be the low quality of the video. They say it was cut from the DVD, Blu-ray, and English release, along with the Pizza Hut, because the creators wanted to let the viewer decide the ending. Personally, I think that's just an excuse for the creator to say, I don't know, you fill it in. But now that R3 has been confirmed, it brings up some questions like, did the creators want to do this? Because they said they wanted the viewers to decide. Did they really not know how to end it? Or did they just have this plan from the beginning? The creators had the project back at the end of Planets, which was almost 4 years from then to the airing of Code Geass, and since it's been 6 years from the ending of Code Geass to now, maybe this was planned in all those years. Not that surprised, because if it is, it's Code Geass. When I first saw Code Geass, I thought this was one person's idea. This was someone in complete creative control. But then I later realized, no, wait, when that happens you get the Phantom Menace. Director Goro Takaguchi and writer Ichigo Ukachi, I've butchered so many names in the past, I do not care at this point, never fully had creative control. Sunrise constantly told him to add in extra features and characters that were never in the original idea. It was just supposed to be a young guy leading an underground rebellion. Things like CC, mechs, the time jumps, Rolo. But of course, they did have time to work it all out. Like I said, the idea started in 2003, so I guess that Sunrise had some creative control as they wrote it. Maybe one needs restrictions in order to be good. Everyone needs criticism. It can't just be a one-guy job. What I'm getting at here is that Code Geass always felt planned. They had an idea on where to go from the beginning, even with Sunrise telling them what to do. They took their time with it, and maybe the reason why R2 was kind of, let's say, less good than R1 was because they only had a year to work with the changes that Sunrise gave them. Now, since it's been 6 years or so, maybe they had just enough time to work it all out. Maybe they had this idea circling around and they just now figured out how to get it right. Or this was all Sunrise's idea to make more money and they just forced him to make something.
There is nothing quite as wonderful as money, money, money.
But even there, I kind of doubt that idea, because why do it now? Why wait this long to make a cash grab? It's barely nostalgic. I highly doubt that's the case. I feel like this was something they just needed to take their time with. If it is Sunrise's idea, then maybe it's something else. What I've seen throughout the many years is that ever since Code Geass's ending, many other shows have been trying to remake or updo what Code Geass did. Shows like Guilty Crown, Al Noah Zero, Valve Rave the Liberator, and even ReZero to some degree. Not just the premise, but also the effect and emotional impact that Code Geass left that others seem to be trying to copy, at least in my eyes. But if Sunrise saw it too, maybe they just wanted to cut out the middleman and make another Code Geass. Or maybe the creators decided that. Who knows, at this point in time we're just guessing, and that's really what this video was about. In the end, we don't really know whether or not it would be good, but I'm hoping it will be. And to those who think it won't, I'd tell you to be open-minded. There's a chance it could be bad, but there's also a chance it could be good. And if in the end it does turn out to be terrible, well then, I command the creators to die.